Have you ever noticed that the most unforgettable love story in a Turkish drama isn't always the one that ends happily? Sometimes it's the person standing quietly in the background, the one who never stopped loving, the one who watched someone else become the center of the person they loved's world. No dramatic revenge. No grand confession that changes everything. Just silent heartbreak. And somehow, those are the characters we never forget. Whether it's the quiet longing of Ferhat and Shirin, the impossible emotions woven through Kara Sevda, the sacrifices in Yali Sapkini, or the bittersweet relationships in Ashkletter 131 Memnu, Turkish dramas have turned unrequited love into an art form. But why? Why do these stories hurt so much? And why do they feel so incredibly beautiful? 1. Turkish dramas don't tell love stories, they tell emotional journeys. One thing separates Turkish dramas from many Western romance shows. They aren't obsessed with the destination. They're fascinated by the journey. In many series, romance begins almost immediately. The audience knows who the couple will be. The story becomes about keeping them together. Turkish dramas take a different path. Love grows slowly. Sometimes over dozens of episodes. Sometimes through arguments. Sometimes through friendship. Sometimes through years of silence. Which means that when love isn't returned, it doesn't feel like a plot twist. It feels like real life. Because real life rarely follows perfect timing. Sometimes the right person arrives at the wrong moment. Sometimes someone realizes their feelings too late. And sometimes the person you love simply loves someone else. Silence speaks louder than words. One of the greatest strengths of Turkish storytelling is restraint. Characters don't always explain what they're feeling. Instead, the camera does. A lingering look across a crowded room. A smile that disappears the moment no one is watching. Eyes filled with tears that never fall. Music fades. Dialogue stops. The silence becomes the conversation. It's in these moments that Turkish actors truly shine. Without saying a word, they communicate disappointment, hope, jealousy, acceptance, and unconditional love. That's incredibly difficult to perform, and even harder to forget. 3. The characters we feel sorry for. Think about the people who suffer the most in Turkish dramas. Often, they're not villains. They're genuinely good people. They're loyal, patient, respectful, kind. If life were fair, they would probably get the happy ending. But love isn't fair. Turkish dramas understand this uncomfortable truth. You cannot earn someone's love simply by deserving it. You can be wonderful and still not be chosen. That reality is painful. But it's also what makes these stories believable. Because every viewer has experienced something similar. Maybe not on television, but somewhere in life. 4. When love becomes sacrifice. Here, where Turkish dramas become truly unique. Many characters continue loving. Even after they've accepted they'll never be loved back. They don't suddenly become bitter. They don't always seek revenge. Instead, they protect the person they love. They hide painful truths. They make impossible sacrifices. Sometimes, they even help the person they love find happiness. With someone else. Imagine how difficult that is. To smile at someone's wedding, while quietly mourning the future you dreamed of. To congratulate the person who unknowingly broke your heart. To remain their friend. Because losing them completely would hurt even more. That's not weakness. That's extraordinary emotional strength. 5. Family, tradition, and destiny. Love rarely exists in isolation in Turkish dramas. Families matter. Honor matters. Promises matter. Tradition matters. This creates impossible situations. Characters aren't simply fighting against another romantic rival. They're fighting against expectations, against parents, against society, against time, against fate itself. Sometimes everyone loses. And that's what makes these stories linger long after the credits roll. Because there isn't always someone to blame. Sometimes destiny becomes the true antagonist. 6. Why we remember the ones who lost. Here's something interesting. Ask fans about their favorite Turkish drama. Eventually, the conversation shifts. Not to the happy couple, but to the character whose love wasn't returned. The quiet friend. The childhood sweetheart. The devoted protector. The one who deserved happiness, but never received it. Why? Because these characters remind us of ourselves. Very few people have experienced a fairy tale romance. Almost everyone has experienced loving someone who couldn't love them back. Their pain feels familiar. Their hope feels familiar. Their resilience feels familiar. They're not superheroes. They're human. 7. The performances that break our hearts. Turkish actors deserve enormous credit. Many unforgettable scenes contain very little dialogue. A trembling breath. Eyes following someone across the room. A smile masking heartbreak. 1 second of hesitation before saying goodbye. These tiny details tell entire emotional stories. That's why fans replay these scenes online years later. Not because something dramatic happened, but because something deeply human happened. A feeling. A realization. A goodbye that wasn't really a goodbye. Perhaps that's why unrequited love is so powerful in Turkish dramas. It reminds us that love isn't valuable only when it's returned. Sometimes love changes us simply because we dared to feel it. The people we couldn't have often become the people who shape us the most. Maybe that's life's quiet irony. The greatest love stories aren't always about ending up together. Sometimes they're about becoming a better person because of a love that never became yours. And maybe that's the painful beauty Turkish dramas understand better than anyone else. They remind us that not every heart gets what it wants, but every heart has a story worth telling. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which Turkish drama portrayed unrequited love most beautifully? Was it Kara Sevda, Aşklar 131 Memnu, Yali Sapkini, or another series that stayed with you long after the final episode?